When the blizzard arrived, my husband left me at the bus stop and insisted on returning to take his 5-month pregnant subordinate home. I collapsed in the cold, begging him to save me, but he yelled at me, "Do you have no compassion? Why are you jealous of a pregnant woman when you're a normal person?" But he didn't know that I was also pregnant. Watching the vehicle disappear into the swirling dust, I clutched my belly and laughed despairingly. Child, I don't want it anymore. This person, I don't want him anymore either. But later I learned that my husband, who I had actively aborted for, broke down, holding my waist and crying, begging me, "Can we have another child? We can still have children." I slammed the divorce agreement onto his face. Get lost. As the blizzard was about to arrive, Song Ching-che threw me at the bus stop, driving my dowry car back to send his 5-month pregnant subordinate home. I clutched my phone, a chill spreading from my fingertips to my entire body. But the forecast said there would be a blizzard. You know there's a blizzard. Joe Fiki is pregnant now. What if something happens? You're an adult. Can't you take care of yourself? He slammed the car door shut, his tone filled with impatience and disgust. I clung to the handle of the car, not daring to let go. But I've been feeling unwell all day. Since this morning, I've been dizzy and weak, even vomiting continuously. I had thought about going to the hospital for a checkup. But considering the need to save money with Song Ching-che for a baby, I decided against it. Little did I know he would choose this moment to throw me at the bus stop. If you're not feeling well, just go to the hospital. I'm not a doctor, so coming to me is useless. He paused and said, "Why would a normal person feel jealous of a pregnant woman?" I took a deep breath, trying hard to suppress the tears that were about to overflow. Song Ching-che, I'm asking you one last time. Are you really going to go pick her up and leave me behind? You're crazy. Song Ching-che didn't even look at me. He just started the engine and drove off. The vehicle kicked up dust as it left, and snow began to fall from the sky. My tears could no longer be held back and streamed down my face. The wind and snow gradually grew stronger, and I tightened my thin coat. Shivering under the bus stop sign, I forced myself onto the last bus, which was packed with people. The air was thick and filled with all sorts of smells. I clutched the handrail tightly, feeling a tumultuous churn in my stomach. Suddenly, there was a sharp break, and I was thrown forward, crashing heavily to the ground. The crowd around me gasped, but I felt no pain, only a heart-wrenching agony in my abdomen. I felt myself slowly losing consciousness, the sounds around me becoming increasingly blurred, until all that remained was a buzzing in my ears. When I woke up again, I was already lying on a hospital bed. The smell of disinfectant was pungent, and the white walls were cold and unfamiliar. A nurse approached, her tone indifferent. "You are pregnant. But the child is unlikely to be viable. Forcing the pregnancy could endanger your health. Do you still want to proceed?" Pregnant. A child. My mind felt somewhat blank. I can't believe I'm pregnant. But is there still a need for this child? I thought numbly as the doctor asked my family to come pick me up. I looked up at the snowflakes falling from the sky and felt a chilling fear. I also wanted Song Ching-che to come pick me up. But when I called, he only impatiently refused. I numbly opened my phone, and a glaring post in my moments caught my eye. Posted by Joe Fiki. The caption read, "Thank you, Brother Che, for guarding me and the child like a warrior, braving the wind and rain every day, and still safely bringing me home even in a snowstorm." There was also a photo of steaming chicken soup and a happy picture of Joe Fiki with her pregnant belly. In the comments section, Song Ching-che even liked the post. Seeing this bright red heart, I suddenly felt a deep irony. On a snowy day, my husband drives my dowry car to escort another pregnant woman, completely ignoring the pain of me taking the bus, and almost causing the death of our child. A surge of anger rose from the depths of my heart, burning my insides with pain. I typed this sentence in the comments section. Wishing you a long and happy life together. I'm getting a divorce tomorrow. These few words seemed to drain all the strength from my body. I have a good relationship with my colleagues in the department, so I'm sure everyone saw that sentence. Sure enough, Xiao Mei privately messaged me. Sister-in-law, don't misunderstand Che Gu. He just took her home for a bit. I didn't reply. They had no idea that when I needed him the most, he chose another woman and her child. At that moment, my heart was already dead. This child is no longer necessary. I called the nurse over, forcing a bleak smile. No need to save the pregnancy. Just give me an abortion. Consciousness hazily returned home. The snow had already turned my hair white. I dragged my heavy steps to the bedside, pulled over the thick down comforter, wrapped myself tightly, and curled up in a ball, trying to absorb some warmth. Suddenly, with a loud bang, the door was violently flung open, and Song Qingche stood at the threshold, his disheveled tie and sullen expression signaling his furious state. What do you mean by that comment? Are you trying to embarrass me in front of my subordinates? He tugged at his tie, his tone filled with impatience. I remained wrapped in the blanket, motionless, simply watching him quietly, as if he were a stranger. He seemed even more irritated, raising his voice. Isn't it just picking up and dropping off a colleague? Do you really have to make such a big deal out of it? Who in the whole company doesn't know that Zhou Fiki is pregnant? Special times call for special care. Can't you be a little more magnanimous? Is it really worth arguing with me over such a trivial matter? Every word he said felt like a sharp knife, stabbing deeply into my heart. For 3 years of marriage, he had always been gentle and considerate towards me, obedient to my every whim. But now, he was blaming me for being petty and lacking generosity because of another woman. A chill shot up from my feet to my heart, and I clenched my fists tightly, my nails almost digging into my flesh. I took a deep breath, trying to suppress the surging emotions within me, and said, "Generous. Song Qingche. It snowed today. I just asked you to give me a ride home on your way. Is that so difficult? I am your wife. How many times do I have to say it? This is just colleagues helping each other. Buyer. I remember you weren't like this before. But I'm also pregnant." My face turned pale, and my stomach churned violently, almost making me throw up. Song Qingche stood at the door, arms crossed, looking impatient. What now? Playing some kind of emotional trick? I raised my head and looked at him coldly. Play? Song Qingche, do you really think I care to play these games? Let me tell you, the child was gone when you took another woman home. He was taken aback for a moment, then let out a sneer. Stop messing around. Just because I won't pick you up, you start making up stories. A child? Where would you get a child? If you really are pregnant, then you should be more understanding of Zhou Fiki. She's a pregnant woman, unable to move easily. What are you quarreling with her about? His tone was icy, devoid of any concern, only endless accusations. I could no longer hold back, and tears streamed down my face. In his heart, am I really that kind of person, willing to fabricate lies and even use the child to gain sympathy just to vie for affection? Just now, Chi-Chi said she upset you and wanted to come over to apologize. Others are so understanding. Yet you are being unreasonable like this. I maintained a stoic expression and remained silent. Suddenly, the phone rang, interrupting my thoughts. The screen displayed the name Zhou Fiki, and I could almost imagine her hypocritical face at that moment. Song Qingche pressed the answer button, and before he could say anything, her delicate voice came through. Che Gu, is Buyer Jia okay? I heard. Buyer Jia is very angry. You mustn't take it to heart. She's just too anxious. She definitely still loves you. Even through the phone, I could smell the insincerity in her sweet talk. Stop speaking for her. I've spoiled her to no end. She's making a fuss over such a trivial matter. Song Cheng's tone was so gentle it could almost drip with water. Don't worry about this. Just go to sleep quickly. You still have a child in your belly. He gently hung up the phone, turned to look at me, and his eyes flashed with impatience. You'll sleep in the study tonight. You should reflect on yourself properly. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. Song Ching-che. I slowly opened my eyes. Let's get a divorce. He was taken aback, seemingly not expecting me to say such a thing. Then he scoffed. Divorce. What are you making a fuss about now? My patience has its limits. Is it really necessary? It's not important anymore. Let's get a divorce. My tone was calm, but each word struck him like a nail, driving deep into his heart. I ultimately only told my best friend Lin Wei about the miscarriage. I dialed Lin Wei's number, and her voice was filled with pain and anger. Buyer, you're such a fool. Back then, you gave up your promotion opportunity and left the company for his future. Now that you've just been promoted, you're strutting around like a peacock, flirting with your subordinates. I closed my eyes, listening to my best friend's concerned scolding, finally feeling a bit comforted. Yes, I was indeed too foolish. Not only did I give up a great promotion opportunity, but I even gave him the dowry my parents had given me to support his career. And now, this is how he treats me. Buyer. Don't worry. They'll pay more attention to them at the company. If I discover anything, I won't let that dog of a man get away with it. I replied softly and hung up the phone. Today's snow blanketed the entire city. It was too cold. I took a week off, planning to rest well. I opened the door, and a chill rushed in. The room was empty. Song Ching-che had left early, not even bothering to check on me. In the past, after arguments, no matter who was right or wrong, he would leave a fridge magnet with playful apologies or warm comforts written on it. But this time, the refrigerator was empty, with nothing inside. Although it was just a minor miscarriage, the doctor said I still couldn't be careless. If I didn't rest properly, it would leave lasting health issues. I forced back the bitterness in my heart, mechanically lining up, registering, and waiting. Suddenly, a familiar conversation reached my ears. It was the joy of soon-to-be fathers and mothers. Che-gu, this outfit is so cute. Can we buy it for the little one to wear? Whatever you say. Che-gu. The doctor said the baby is growing quite big. I think it might be a boy. I hope he looks like you. Hee. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. My parents said that once you give birth, they will come to take care of you. A woman's voice laughed happily, following the familiar male voice. I incredulously looked up and indeed saw Song Ching-je. What does it mean that his parents said they would come to take care of Zhou Fiki once she gives birth? Could it be that the baby in Zhou Fiki's belly is Song Cheng's child? I felt as if struck by lightning, while Song Ching-je was gently holding that woman, his face full of indulgence. He saw me too, and the smile on his face instantly froze, a hint of panic flashing in his eyes. How are you here? Are you really pregnant? He asked stiffly. I tightly gripped the examination report in my hand, my nails digging deep into my flesh, the pain barely a fraction of the heartache. Is it important? I retorted coldly, turning my head to see Zhou Fiki. Congratulations. You're about to become a mother. Thank you, Sister Buyer. I'm not feeling well today, so I had Che-gu bring me here for a checkup. Don't misunderstand. I let out a cold laugh and said nothing. Misunderstand? What do I need to misunderstand? Perhaps my gaze was too cold, and Song Ching-che also sensed something was off. He frowned slightly, his tone somewhat displeased. Buyer, what kind of attitude is this? I thought you had reflected on yourself properly. What attitude? I curled my lips in a cold smile, struggling to suppress the raging anger inside me. Song Ching-che, do you take me for a fool? You sent her home, and now you're accompanying her for a prenatal checkup. Do you think I'm blind? Zhou Fiki seemed startled by me, shrinking back a little, hiding behind Song Qingche, and weakly said, "Gidge, Buyer Jia is too fierce. It might scare the baby. Jingqi, don't be afraid. They'll talk to her nicely." He gently comforted Zhou Fiki, but the look he turned to me was filled with disgust. "You've really gone too far. Are you stalking me? What do you want to know? Is her child mine?" His tone was cold. "It is mine." "So what?" "Before, I felt a bit guilty towards you, but seeing you act like this jealous woman, I know my choice was right. So this child really is Song Qingche's. This scumbag." With Song Qingche's favoritism, Zhou Fiki immediately changed her demeanor, arrogantly stroking her pregnant belly and boasting, "Not only does Gidge pick me up and drop me off, but he also accompanies me for leisure, treats me to afternoon tea, and doesn't allow me to take the bus or subway. He says only incompetent women squeeze onto public transport. If we're talking about the ability to be cheap, I really can't compare to you." I scoffed. "What? Does she think Song Qingche is some kind of treasure? You?" Zhou Fiki was speechless with anger, but I continued to prick her with every word. "What do you mean? Zhou Fiki, you can't possibly think being a mistress is something to be proud of. TSK. It's still better than being a useless yellow-faced woman." She rolled her eyes and retorted with me, "Ha, this man, if you want him, I'll let you have him." I scoffed. "But don't even think about getting a single cent of my money." Turning to Song Qingche, "The car is mine. Now hand over the keys. You think you can have a beautiful woman with a fancy car? You're dreaming." In the face of his betrayal, I was surprisingly calm, no longer crying or making a scene. Just consider it as sincerely feeding the dog. And from then on, take back what I deserve. I snatched the keys back, leaving the two of them in shock. Song Qingze probably didn't expect me to be so fierce, and he stood there dumbfounded. When I got home, the first thing I did was throw all of Song Qingze's things out. His clothes, shoes, tie, game console, and even his most treasured limited edition sneakers were all swept into the trash bag by me. I was like a madwoman, frantically clearing away all traces of him. This house was bought by me before marriage, and it's in my name. He, Song Qingche, didn't spend a single penny, so why should he flaunt himself here with Zhou Fiki? After tossing and turning for most of the night, I collapsed on the sofa. It was then that I realized how suffocating my life had been in these 3 years of marriage. Like a fool, I was made to spin around by him and Zhou Fiki. Originally, we were both working on projects at the company, and I had always been the top performer. It was he who said that the work pressure was too great, and after marriage, he wanted me to rest well, letting him bear the burden of work. I believed him, and after marriage, I gave up my promotion opportunities, handing over all my resources to him, and took a job as a clerk in a small company. The salary was low, but it was a stable 9-to-5 job. And I had much more time to spend with him and his parents, managing the household in an orderly manner. Now that his life has improved, he's earning more money and has been promoted. Those little thoughts can no longer be hidden. The phone rang. It was a call from Song Qingche. I hung up immediately and then blocked him. Soon after, he called again from a different number. I answered irritably. "What exactly do you want?" "Zhou Buyer, have you lost your mind? You threw away all my things. Do you have any idea how expensive those were?" His tone was filled with anger. "Ha, Song Qingche, you know what expensive means. Then what do you think my youth and my feelings are worth? Just cheap goods." I sneered. "Stop being unreasonable. Jingqi is pregnant now. Her emotions are unstable. I can't let her get upset." "So what? You want me to suffer just to support your mistress and your illegitimate child?" I was almost laughing in anger at him. "Zhou Buyer, don't go too far. What do you think you are? If it weren't for me, who would even look at you?" Before he could finish his sentence, I interrupted him. "Song Qingze, Listen to me carefully. From today on, we have no relationship whatsoever. You can be with whoever you want. Just don't bother me again. And this house is mine. It has nothing to do with you. So don't come back. With that, I hung up the phone forcefully and added him to my blacklist. I turned off my phone, and the world finally became quiet. I got up and walked to the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out at the brightly lit city, now tightly wrapped in snow. I took a deep breath. Getting a divorce might be the best decision I've made in these 3 years. The next morning, I went to the law firm to consult about the divorce. The lawyer said that the car and the house were both purchased before the marriage and are considered premarital property, so they all belong to me after the divorce. As for the other parts, they need to be negotiated with my husband. What is there to negotiate? Everything belongs to me. He leaves with nothing. I grabbed my phone and scrolled to Lynn Weiss' number. My best friend is the information hub of the company, as long as she wants to. There's nothing she doesn't know. Vivi, I'm at the hospital, and I ran into Song Ching-che and Joe Fiki. They confronted me. What a pair of scoundrels. Just wait. I'm going to chop him up. Vivi, don't be impulsive. I need you to do me a favor. I paused, then continued. Gather all the dirt on them from the company. I have a tough battle to fight. I want to ruin their reputation. I let out a cold laugh, a glint of ruthlessness flashing in my eyes. Lin Wei was very quick. Before long, she sent over the photos and videos. I held back my disgust and finished looking through all the evidence. Do they think that just because I'm not watching them, they can do whatever they want? It turned out that the affair between Song Ching-che and Joe Fiki was no longer a secret in the company. Hugging and flirting are just child's play. What's worse is that they even did it in the company's break room, meeting rooms, and even in the office. They often took advantage of business trips to be together. The whole department knew, but out of concern for their positions, they all kept it from me. These two people are simply so shameless. Lin Weiss' tone was filled with sarcasm. I told you. Song Ching-che is nothing special. The projects he used to get promoted were mostly done by you before. He directly took your achievements to claim credit, and even said he did it himself. I tightened my grip on the wine glass, my nails digging deep into my flesh. And that bitch, Joe Fiki, relying on Song Ching-che's favoritism, is bullying everyone in the company. If anyone offends her, she makes sure Song Ching-che gives them a hard time. So many people have been driven away by her. Listening to Lin Weiss' revelations, I felt like a clown. Everything I had worked so hard for had ultimately become a stepping stone for them to climb higher. I let out a cold laugh. Truly, one reaps what one sows. Since they are so shameless, they can't blame me for being heartless. I compiled all the information into a PPT and had Lin Wei post it in the company group, stirring up a storm. The group chat instantly exploded, and before long, Song Ching-che and Joe Fiki were called in for a meeting. Lin Wei also called, her tone filled with excitement. Buyer, your PPT is amazing. The whole company is discussing this matter now, and Song Ching-che and Joe Fiki's reputations are completely ruined. They'll probably have to pack up and leave by tomorrow. As expected, Song Ching-che and Joe Fiki were fired from the company. But that was not enough. Far from it. I opened my computer, created a new email, and in the recipient field, I entered the email addresses of all the clients who had collaborated with Song Ching-che, as well as those of the senior executives in the industry. Attached were the unsightly videos and photos that Lin Wei had sent me. For a time, Song Ching-che's scandal spread like wildfire, becoming a disgrace in the industry. I thought no other companies in the industry would want him anymore. Right. Lin Wei called me with good news. Buyer, the industry has issued an ultimatum. We absolutely refuse to accept these two losers. And now, Song Ching-che has nowhere to go. He can only huddle in Joe Fiki's rented room. Right now. Joe Fiki is like an angry hen, getting furious every day at this useless man. I also found it somewhat amusing. Didn't Zhou Fiki think Song Qingche was some kind of treasure? Now that she has him, why is she no longer interested? Chapter 7-7. After being expelled, Song Qingche burst into my house like a mad dog, shamelessly refusing to divorce. Why should I leave? I own half of this house. His eyes were red, reeking of alcohol, and saliva sprayed onto my face. I wiped my face in disgust and sneered. Song Qingche, you have undeniable evidence of infidelity during our marriage, and you still have the nerve to ask for the house. Dream on. Hearing this, he became even more agitated, cursing foully. You filthy bitch. You made Zhou Fiki scream for an abortion. What if something happens to my child? They'll fight you to the end. I couldn't be bothered with him and simply locked the door. The next morning, as I left for work, I found the bright red paint at my doorstep scrawled with words like non-laying hen and husband killer. The strong smell of paint made me feel nauseous. Without a doubt, it was the work of Song Qingche's family. Sure enough, Song Qingche's parents were blocking my front door like two guardian deities. I quickly wrapped my coat tighter around me, yet still felt a bone-chilling cold. You are truly ruthless, woman. On such a cold day, how could you leave my son homeless? His mother was the first to strike. Of course your son is sleeping in his warm hometown. I held back my anger, my tone laced with sarcasm. How do I remember him saying that once Zhou Fiki gives birth, you would rush over to take care of her during the confinement? How is it that he's homeless now? Upon hearing this, his mother's face darkened even further, and she pointed a finger at me, cursing. So what if he is? You, the harbinger of doom. 3 years of marriage and no sign of a baby. Yet you still have the audacity to occupy my son's house. Our Song family will not be without heirs. The one in Xiao Zhou's belly is a precious boy. You kind of woman should be drowned in a pig cage. Saliva sprayed out with her sharp voice, and I took a step back in disgust. His father chimed in. Exactly. How did your parents raise you? You have no manners at all. My son has treated you so well, providing for you with everything, and you repay him like this. Do you have any conscience? Hurry up and transfer the house to my son. Consider it a small compensation to our old Song family. Looking at their ugly faces, my stomach churned, and I felt nothing but nausea. This is clearly not a request for an explanation. It's obviously an attempt at extortion. I took out my phone and called the police directly. Hello, is this 110? There are people maliciously vandalizing the walls here, blocking my door, and threatening me. The police arrived quickly and took the Song couple away. I watched them being shoved into the police car, feeling a rush of satisfaction in my heart. That night, I received a call from the police station asking me to come in. When I arrived, I saw Song Qingche's parents sitting stiffly, looking defiant, but unable to hide the panic in their eyes. I said to the police with absolute certainty, I want to sue them for trespassing and malicious graffiti. No settlements accepted. You bitch. Song Qingche's mother pointed at me, her lips trembling. I coldly looked at them. There are cameras right at my door. High definition, capturing every angle clearly. Your criminal evidence is undeniable, and you still dare to spew nonsense in the police station. It'll add defamation to the charges against you. Song's mother slumped in the chair, her face alternating between shades of green and white. I let out a cold snort. The sin was committed by your son, not me. If it weren't for his infidelity, I would still be respectfully calling you mom and dad, bringing you gifts in big and small packages during the holidays. This cotton padded jacket you're wearing was carefully chosen by me after running through 3 shopping malls last winter, costing over 3,000 yuan. For the past 3 years, I have poured my heart and soul into you. And what did I get in return? Early morning threats and curses. Why should I swallow this anger? At this point, my eyes were a bit moist, but I held back the tears from falling. The police received my instructions and began taking notes. warning Song's parents once again to be careful with their words. At that moment, Song Ching-che arrived at the police station. As soon as he entered, he thudded to his knees in front of me, his face twisted in despair as he pleaded. "Buyer, I'm begging you, let my parents go. I know I was wrong. I'll get a divorce. I'll do it right away. I'll agree to whatever you ask. I won't cause any more trouble." As he spoke, he slapped his own face hard, each strike louder than the last, as if he wanted to express his remorse in this way. I looked at him like this, feeling not a single ripple in my heart, only endless disgust. In order to divorce smoothly, I ultimately forgave his parents, quickly called the lawyer, and directly drafted the divorce agreement for Song Ching-che to sign. After dealing with all this nonsense, I was physically and mentally exhausted. I threw myself onto the sofa and picked up my phone to scroll through the photos of me and Song Ching-che from before. The sweet memories of the past now seemed so ironic and ridiculous. I was blind to fall in love with such a scumbag. I deleted all the photos and videos of him, completely erasing him from my life. The moment I held the divorce certificate, I felt all the strength drained from my body. 3 years of marriage shattered in an instant. To say I felt nothing would be a lie, but I know well that a short pain is better than a long one. Dragging things out will only make me suffer more. I even felt a bit relieved that the child was unwilling to come into this world. That night, Lin Wei and I drank ourselves into a stupor. She patted my shoulder while mumbling, "Men, they're all the same. Don't take them too seriously. Hick. From now on, I'll look out for you." I laughed and pushed her away, but a warm current surged in my heart, calling my parents back home to talk about the divorce. I thought they would scold me, but to my surprise, they were overwhelmingly supportive. "Buyer, we always thought that guy wasn't a good match for you. It was just that you were so passionate and rushed in, and we really couldn't stop you." Dad, Mom, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so willful. Hearing my parents' voices made my nose tingle, and I couldn't help but cry. "It's okay, dear. It's good that you're getting a divorce. Just live well from now on. Your parents will always support you." With the support of my parents and friends, I felt as if I had divine assistance. After returning home for a prosperous year, I replenished my spirit. When spring arrived and the snow melted, I returned to the city once again. I gave up my 9 to 5 clerical job and found a new, challenging position in live streaming operations. 3 years of marriage have drained me of all my passion and ambition. Now, it's time to reclaim them. This job is exhausting, yet it fulfills me. Before long, I carved out my own niche through my abilities. Business negotiations came one after another, and the streamers under my wing were all making a fortune. With work finally at a pause, I could finally catch my breath. I invited Lin Wei out, and we found a serene cafe, ordered 2 cappuccinos, and caught up on each other's lives. "How have you been lately? Is work going well?" Lin Wei asked with concern. "Not bad. Quite fulfilling," I replied with a smile after taking a sip of coffee. "That's good to hear." Lin Wei smiled as well, then leaned in closer to me, lowering her voice as she asked, "So, do you want to know how that bastard is doing?" I looked at my best friend with curiosity. Now wanting to know about him is merely a manifestation of revenge. Lin Wei observed my expression and sighed in relief. "Let me tell you, that guy is having a terrible time now. He can't make it in the city. His reputation is ruined, and he can only return home in disgrace to rely on his family." Lin Wei described vividly. "Guess what? Zhou Fiki actually went back with him." "Zhou Fiki? Has she lost her mind?" "That's right. I heard that at first. The Song family's parents treated Zhou Fiki like a deity, but not long after she had the baby, everything changed. They found all sorts of ways to make her work. Washing clothes, cooking, and feeding pigs were all part of it." Lin Wei said with a hint of sarcasm. "But that's not the worst part," Lin Wei said mysteriously, lowering her voice. I heard that their child, because of the Song family's superstitions, missed the chance for treatment and ended up becoming a fool. I almost spat out my coffee. Feeling a wave of sympathy, Anne asked, "How could this happen? What superstitions?" "Just the old rural nonsense. You know, when the child had a fever, they refused to go to the hospital and insisted on doing some kind of shamanistic ritual at home. As a result," Lin Wei shrugged. Wearing a you-know-what-I-mean expression, I sighed and said, "Honestly, the child is the most innocent one. I never expected such a catastrophic beginning. What about Song Qingche? He can't just stand by and watch, can he?" I asked Lin Wei. "Him? What can he do? He's in the city with a mountain of debt, ran away back home, and is broke. When the child got into trouble, he could only go to the construction site to carry bricks." Lin Wei's tone was filled with disdain. "And guess what? This young master broke his leg in less than 3 days of carrying bricks." I covered my mouth, pretending to be surprised. "So unlucky. Isn't that so?" Lin Wei vividly described. "Now the whole family relies on Zhou Fiki alone. She used to be so proud. But now she has to humble herself to serve the 2 old ladies of the Song family, while also taking care of a foolish child and a disabled husband. TSK. What a turn of fortune." In Lin Wei's description, Zhou Fiki had already become a disheveled old woman, and Song Qingche had truly turned into a useless person. My gaze turned cold as I recalled that humiliating marriage. Thankfully, I had cut my losses in time. All of this must have been arranged by fate. Otherwise, it would have been me and the child suffering the consequences. It is said that only evil people can bring out the worst in each other. So let this family sink into their own misery. As for me, I shall enjoy my perfect life.